Okay, we're getting ready to begin Clash of the Titans. We've got nearly 10,000 points of all Titans. This is going to be an Apocalypse game on 3 tables. And the way Apocalypse works is both teams place a bid of how many minutes they want to deploy. The lowest bid goes first. So they want to, Carlos and Nick want to make sure they're going first, so they bid 1 minute. So they have 1 minute to set up their models, and anything else goes in reserve. So let's see what they can do. Here we go.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Seconds.
Oh, easy. We got this. Right there, perfect. Actually, one on each
30
side.
seconds.
Help out. The tanks are ready.
I'm all up.
Yeah.
20 seconds.
He's got behind him. Grab my tanks over here. Oh, easy.
15 seconds.
I think that's everything, right? 6 tanks of each?
Yep. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done.
Done. Nice work, guys. Of course, they only had like 17 models, but it's all good. Nice
That's a
work.
lot harder. I remember one time you guys had to just start tossing models on.
Bottom of turn 1. And the Empire reserved everything. So the Empire has nothing on the table. And the forces of the Eldar and the Space Communists moved up, took advantage of the free move, and they're coming across the table. We've got the objectives out now. We've got 3 objectives over there. The Empire stacked there is all on one end of the table. And the Space Communists and the Eldar have 2 over there, those orange ones, and 1 over here. So, yeah. Nothing happened turn 1 because the Empire's not even on the table yet. So here we go, turn 2. That's when reserves will start coming in, and it will get interesting. Bottom of turn 2, and we had some action because the reserves came in, being the Empire who reserved everything. So this side of the table, the Tau and the Eldar moved up. Look at that guy. So cool up there. And this side of the table, all the Empire came in over here. Half the Shadow Swords, the Walkers. This Walker came up and engaged the Narlosis, got his arm ripped off for it. But he did a couple wounds to the Narlosis, so that helps. All these Warhounds and the Reaver Titan unloaded on the Eldar grav tanks and took, looks like 3 of them out and blew the cannon off of that one. And then this Warhound came up and locked up that Eldar Titan because they want to try to lock him up, prevent him from shooting. So the Empire stacked on this side of the table by those yellow objectives, trying to hold them. And there's a little contact in the middle. And Carlos's forces over there on that side of the table, they need to move up and get it done. So it should be interesting. Here comes turn 3. Bottom of turn 3. And yeah, with all the models on the table, everything firing at each other, it is getting ugly. So the Tau and the Eldar on this side of the table, they got punished in the middle there. Dropped those 2 tanks, dropped the saw, apocalyptic explosion, boom, mushroom cloud, took more out. This Warhound that lost his arm in close combat with the Narlosis succeeded in taking out Narlosis, but the Narlosis were getting shot up too. So the rest of the Empire's reserves came in. These tanks, what's left of that guy, he got flipped. Boom. But more Walkers came in, and you know the Empire's trying to hold those 3 yellow objectives over here. So they stacked heavy on this side of the table, and they've been blasting these tanks in the middle, and the Shadow Swords just rolled in over the wrecks, just steamrolling right over them. We had a little hand-to-hand combat going here, and unfortunately there was a party foul, and the poor Revenant took a spill off the table, and you know how you instinctively like try to catch it with your foot, and unfortunately he just got punted in the process to about 30 pieces. But it's okay. I'm gonna buy Nick some glue, and we'll make it right. The big Reaver, boy, he's just sitting back here in the corner thumping 8 D blasts every turn. Nothing's even hit him yet. So, yeah, it looks like the Empire's doing pretty well. But then again, it isn't about destruction. It's about who's holding the objective. So we'll see what happens. Here comes turn 4. Bottom of turn 5 as we get to the bottom of the glasses. Oh, man, it's getting brutal. Boy, let's see here. The Tau and the Eldar are just getting socked in the middle. The Phantom went down. The tank went down. There was another apocalyptic explosion. I think we've had 3 of those so far. The Saw went down. Those tanks got stunned. And the Warhounds, a couple of the Warhounds went down over here and got destroyed. These Warhounds are moving out. The Reaver's moving up. These 2 are still locked in combat with what's left of that Titan there. Technically, those grav tanks are contesting the 2 objectives, and they're holding their 2 objectives over there. Like, technically, it's like a tie game, or the Empire might be up by 1. But, yeah, the greater good is starting to run out of models. So we're going to keep going, see what happens. Here comes turn 5. Okay, bottom of turn 5, and the rounds are starting to go quickly because we are running out of models. The Titan's down, the tank's down. Tank in the middle got taken down. Another Warhound got taken down. His tanks took a little damage over here. This Warhound died, and that is actually an Eldar Titan. He ran up and engaged the Reaver, which is good because the Reaver's locked up. Now I can't shoot all those D cannons. Wilhelmina ran up and turned around and fired and actually hit her own Titan a few times, knocked some void shields down. So, yeah, nobody's holding the orange objectives over there. They all got destroyed. And over here, it's interesting because that yellow one is contested by those 2. And the Empire's got 1. And the Eldar grav tank there is holding 1. So technically, it's 1-1 right now on this side of the table. So, yeah, we'll see what happens next. We're going into turn 6. Here we go. Bottom of turn 6, and this is just getting silly. So, the Empire destroyed that tank in the middle there, and all these Shadow Swords turn around to shoot at the tanks back there because the greater good's actually contesting all those objectives back there. This tank right here took about 4 D cannon blasts, and Carlos rolled like 3 6s in a row, and somehow or another that tank is still alive. And he's holding that orange objective over there. So the greater good has got 1 objective there. This Eldar Titan finally went down. This objective is contested, I believe. The Reaver ran up and just tried to boot stomp this grav tank, and nothing happened. So, yeah, one of the Shadow Swords here got taken down. That Eldar tank got taken down. So I think this Shadow Sword is holding at least 1, maybe 2 objectives. Maybe 2 for the Empire without measuring. This one's contested. So it looks like it's 2, those 2 yellow to the 1. That tank's going to try to hold out for another turn. We got 1 more turn coming. So, yeah, we're almost out of models. It's getting down to the nitty-gritty. Let's see what happens. Here comes the final turn 7. Bottom of turn 7, and that may have just been the quickest round of Warhammer ever because we were down to like just a handful of models. So the first thing that happened was, yeah, Nick moved his grav tank over here, trying to be all slick, and he got in between those 2 yellow objectives. And then Carlos shot the purple tank that was in front of the Warhound there, and boom, set off an apocalyptic explosion and killed the grav tank. So now the Empire has all these objectives over here. And in the meantime, the Warhound ran up and took out the last model. That tank that was in front of him was literally the last model the greater good had on the table. So, yeah, that's it. They got wiped out. First time we've ever done a game like this with all Titans, all super heavies. Really interesting. It was actually pretty close up until turn 6. until they set off a mushroom cloud and destroyed their own tank. But hey, that's Warhammer. It happens. What a crazy game. Next time we're going to throw some infantry in there as well, so we have lots of fodder to kill. Until next time, see you then.